Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. A lot of people are in search for that life partner and they're always asking God if this is a right person or not. At the end of the day, how can you tell if this person is a counterfeit or not? There's a lot of counterfeits out there and they're on the leash to destroy God's people. If you do not have that discerning spirit, you won't be able to identify them and you'll end up marrying them. Today we're going to be talking about how the devil is raising his own counterfeits in order to make you believe they are from God. You know the devil is very sneaky. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And if you don't have that discerning spirit and you're not prayerful, you might end up in his trap and destroy what God has planned for you. He may send you a counterfeit and you won't be able to differentiate between the real thing and a counterfeit. You will look at this counterfeit and it will be so close to the real thing. The thing is, the devil hates marriages and he will do everything to make sure that he destroys all the marriages that are from the kingdom. He knows why he's destroying them. He knows if those marriages are from God's kingdom, they will be able to defeat him. He doesn't want you to marry the right person. Not everyone that comes your way is the one. Even though it's not from God's kingdom, but Satan wants you to believe he's from God's kingdom in order to confuse you. The battle is on. Satan is raising his own agents as counterfeits. You need to be prayerful at all times. He will bring in this person that is so close to the real thing, and you'll be thinking that he's the one. Not all counterfeits are bad people. They're just normal people that are used by the devil. If you don't realize this, you will attract what you want. The Bible says in Proverbs 23 verse 7, as a man think lies in his heart. So how can you tell if this person is a counterfeit, that is not from God? There are so many voices that will mimic God's voice in order to deceive you. And you will think that this person is from God. You will believe that God has shown you your future kingdom spouse. In fact, if you have that list, that person has got all the qualities that you've been looking for. And when that person comes your way, it will be very charming and tempting, and you will believe this is it. This is a person that God has sent for me. Even when you are asleep, you dream about him, and you will come into a conclusion that this person God is showing you in your dream, and yet it's just a soul dream. This dream could not be from God because you're thinking about this person all the time. And it's easy to conclude that God has finally written your love story, and yet it's from the devil. Even though your spirit will warn you by showing you certain things about this person, but your flesh will be fighting with your spirit because you have concluded that this person is from God, and the devil will be whispering in your ear that this person is from God. He has all the qualities in your tick list. You won't be able to listen to anyone that will try and warn you. You are looking for a spouse and you're not stepping in God's will. Your personal desires can never become God's will if they're not aligned with God's personal plan, what he has for you. You won't see it because you're clouded with desperation, because they're too perfect to let go. God shows us in so many ways. And if a person comes to you and tells you that God said you are their wife, just tell that person that if God can confirm to you, then he will confirm to me as well. That is why God says, test the spirit. Don't just rely on that person's confirmation, and make sure that your deepest desire is to understand God. Do not use prayer to persuade God for your own desire, because in Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 reads, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. So you need to trust in the Lord. Wait for his confirmation. Even though that person that you think is from God can be as perfect as you want him to be, it doesn't make him your spouse. As long as God has not confirmed him to you, he is not your spouse yet. That is why sometimes we learn on our own understanding. Sometimes God may have shown you your kingdom spouse, but it will never come to pass because you are now entertaining this person that you think is from God, and yet they're not. Don't arrive to a conclusion too hasty, because that's what the devil wants. He wants you to marry this wrong person. That is his mission. That is his plan. So don't fall into his tricks. Even if your family don't see that this person is a counterfeit, but your spirit will tell you and you will know. Many Christians have heard those deceitful spirits and they think it's from God. And yet sometimes it just could be your own voice deceiving you. And those deceitful spirits can work through other people as well. A lot of churches out there that are God's agents. If you get a prophecy from God, you need to test the spirit, because some of these churches are used by Satan and they're prophesying wrong prophecy. Sometimes Satan would even use other people that will come and give you a word that is from God and yet it's not, because these are the devil's agents. Satan may use these agents in order for you to marry wrong. You are his target, especially when he knows what God has planned for you. He has no business, absolutely no business, especially if you're not a Christian. You're already doing unworthy things, so he's got no business with you. What he wants is people that are Christians. If you're not a Christian, he's got no business with you. It's very important to be prayerful all the time and spend time with God, so that you can be able to differentiate between God's voice, your voice, and the devil's voice. It's like when you're spending time with a person that you love. You know their voices. Even when you're asleep, you'll be able to know their voices. You'll be able to grow and have that relationship with God. And you'll know that this time, this is God speaking. Very important to highlight those little voices. Somewhere along the line, he may look perfect, but he will eventually show you his true colors. No one is flawless. There are things that you shouldn't ignore, especially when it comes to the person that you want to spend the rest of your time with. Men can pretend, especially if they're looking for that Christian woman to spend the rest of their lives with. They can pretend to be Christian. The devil can use anyone. He can choose to use a woman as well. Women can also pretend to be submissive in order for you to take them to the altar. They can pretend to be that good person in order to deceive you. So the devil does not only use men, he can use women as well. He doesn't care. He uses anyone. Remember, even the devil knows the Bible. That is why he's releasing those counterfeits out there, so that you can think they are from God, so that you can think he is your kingdom spouse. So this is a warning. The battle is on. The devil has released his own kingdom spouse, and they are out there. So you need to be very prayerful and be careful. Be careful who you choose to bring into your space. Ask God for a confirmation before you bring in that person into your space. Thank you for watching. If this is content that you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next video. God bless you.